Hey DIY guitarist. Today we are building a completely new pick guard for this guitar. It's actually this pick guard we're adding into here, or building onto it. This is the part where we add the pickups to a already wired up pick guard. So if you missed the first part, what we did in the first part is we installed all the hardware and wired up all the basic parts of it, the switch and the controls and all of that. So this part is where we're going to add in the pickups, and we're going to do that on a table I have in the kitchen, set up with just a towel and a soldering iron and some basic household hand tools, because you don't have a lot, or don't need a lot, to do it-yourself guitar work. So let's get to adding our pickups in.
Here is where we left off. I have wired up all the controls and left wires for the jack and the ground for the claw. All that is left is wiring up the pickups. There are just a few more connections to make and we are all done. The pickups will attach to the switch like this. Notice it's the same order, neck to bridge, as the controls side of the switch. I'm going to start with the neck pickup and move my way up the switch. Each single coil will have two wires. One will be black and one will have color. Sometimes it'll be white, sometimes yellow, but sometimes you can find other colors as well. The color wire will connect to the switch and the black wire will connect to the back of the volume knob. We will connect all the black wires at the same time, so we only have to heat up the control one more time. The white wire connects here. Locate the wires for your neck pickup. Note the color of the non-black wire. This one is white. The wires will feed across the top of the volume knob as dictated by the channels in the routed body of the guitar. You'll get to decide if you want to trim the wires or keep the full length for use in other guitars in the future. I'm going to trim the wire to fit. Cut for length. Strip. Tin the lead. And solder in place. The middle pickup is the same process as the neck pickup. Find the color of the wire, this one is yellow, and connect to the next lug on the switch here. Leave the black wire to connect later. Find the color wire, this one is yellow. Route along the controls and measure length. Cut, strip, tin, and solder into the next lug on the switch. The last pickup to install is the bridge pickup. If the pickup is a single coil, just wire it up like the last two. But I have a 4-conductor pickup like this. A 4-conductor pickup gives you more wiring options, but I don't find those options all that useful, so I'm going to just wire it up like a normal humbucker. That requires us connecting some wires. A humbucker is just 2 single coil pickups wired together, and we need to wire the coils together now. Each coil has a start wire and an end wire. We have to wire the end of coil 1 to the start of coil 2. Now each pickup manufacturer can use different colors for this, so check with them for the correct colors. For this pickup, the wires are green, black, white, and red. There will be a bare wire too, and that is a ground wire. Our coils go like this. Green starts coil 1 and it ends in black. White starts coil 2 and it ends in red. So when we connect the coils, we have to connect the end of coil 1, which is the black wire, to the start of coil 2, which is the white wire. Solder here. Once connected, just add some heat shrink tubing to keep the wires from rubbing against any controls and grounding out. Then connect the green wire to the switch here. The red and bare wires will connect to the volume control along with the black wires from the neck and middle pickups in the next step. Since this is a used pickup, the white and black wires are already connected. I just need to add some heat shrink tubing. Cut to size. Slip over the connection. Heat and the connection is safe. Now I'll feed the green wire down to the switch. Try to keep your wires tidy so they will fit better into the body cavities. I'll clean up the end for a better connection, tin the lead, and solder into the last lug on the switch. Now I will connect all of the ground wires to the back of the volume control here. This can be a little awkward, but take the time to arrange your wires so you can be fast with a soldering iron and not damage the control. There's a lot of extra wire I don't need, so I'm going to trim it off. About there. And strip the wires. Next I'll tin the wires to keep things tidy. I want to arrange the wires so they sit neatly on top of the control for easy soldering. These wires want to fight me a bit. No reason you can't get a little creative. Some tape will hold things in place long enough to finish this connection. Unfortunately, the camera overheated while making the last connection. But here's what it looks like. Just a nice clean dot of solder. So that's it. The pickups are installed. Now I just have to install the new pickguard into the body and make these connections. Connect the jack, ground the bridge on the claw, and ground the pickguard to the body if it is shielded. Now this body is not shielded, so we're going to skip that step. To install the pickguard, first I'll feed the wires where they need to go. The ground wire to the claw goes through this hole. Next, the two wires to the jack go through here. Then I want to seat the pickguard and make sure no wires are stuck between the pickguard and the body. Then I want to make sure I have just enough wire so that I can take the pickguard off easily in the future. I'm using some paper towels to keep from dripping any solder on the finish. Let's flip it over and ground the claw. I want the springs out of the claw for this because they will act like heat sinks and draw heat away from the solder. I have extra wire, so I'll cut it down to size. Then I want to arrange the wire to stay in place for soldering. Wedging it under the screw does the trick. We'll just heat up the existing solder. Sometimes adding a bit of new solder helps melt the old solder. Now I can pull the claw back in place and replace the springs in factory V formation. The wire is not pinched by the screw, it's just staying up out of the way. And fit all the screws. Alright, let's do a function check where we tighten everything down and screw string it. Make sure everything is up. Actually, these are off. On. On. Alright, everything works. We got the volume,
volume works, the tones work, everything's good. And that's it, DIY guitarists. It's just that simple to wire up a brand new pickguard to make your guitar into something different from whatever it is that you already have. So instead of buying a whole nother guitar, these things are upwards of $1,000 or even over $1,000. You can put a whole new pickguard together for under $300. You can have a set of EMGs in one pickguard, and then a set of really vintagey soft single coils in another pickguard. So you're really not limited, and you can take one pickguard out in a few minutes, put another pickguard in, and you're ready to go. You can do it before band practice. If you're in a metal band, you can have metal pickups, and then after that you can take it to school and play in your jazz band with a whole different pickguard in just a few minutes. And that's what the channel is about, doing things yourself.